Welcome to SlamFireradio, episode 451, recording live on Thursday, April 14th. I have one of your hosts, Mo.
Kelly, you're muted. Still muted. Control D. Control D.
Okay, got it. Sorry. I'm Kelly.
Coming to you from the beautiful house.
I know, right?
I'm Adriel, coming to you from my green bunker.
Yes.
I'm Kyle, coming to you from fake demo ranch, I guess.
The grotto.
Grotto, yeah.
And our special guest.
And I'm Josh, coming to you from an actual bunker, kind of.
Yeah.
There you go.
Awesome.
That was the unsmoothest intro ever.
I was wondering how many episodes
This year.
Kelly, 450 episodes it takes to turn your mute button off.
Yep. Yep.
Just started on the show, already razzing Kelly. Jeez.
Yeah. It's in well. Anyways.
We'll get into what we did with guns. What we did with guns is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center, Canada's premier firearm retailer, and they have Glock days going on. And it looks like if you check out their website, you'll get a store credit if you purchase a Glock. I think on the 15th and the 16th.
Yeah.
So definitely get on the site and check it out, or go into the store.
Yep.
We will start with Kyle this week.
Okay.
What did you do with guns?
Not a whole lot, a little bit. I mean, it's been time since I got back from my trip, but I said I might do a Twitch stream last Thursday after the show, and I actually did.
Yeah, I saw that.
And tore down the WK-180 and figured out what was wrong.
What was wrong?
And there's a little nylon bushing that your piston slides through.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when I opened it up, I was looking at the bolt and everything, and I happened to look at the receiver, and I saw the piston sticking through the receiver with the spring and everything. Well, don't think that's supposed to be like that. Tried pushing the piston forward. No. So took the handguard off, and as I did that, I got pieces of nylon bushing that holds that spring forward of your receiver and allows your piston to slide through. Got pieces of that. So the funny thing with that is I actually had ordered the brass bushing replacement when I first bought it and was ordering all my upgrade parts, but time and everything, I didn't have a chance to actually drill out my receiver and put it in.
So was it just the nylon bushing that self-destructed,
Yep.
or was it the piston that...
No, it was just the bushing. The piston looks fine. It was just the bushing. Let that spring through. Let the piston came out of the gas block. And I got really concerned because I was hammering it back into place to reload, which means I was hammering that piston back into the gas block. So I'm got to do a little bit closer look at it, but everything does look fine. I just got to drill out that receiver, put the brass bushing in there, and it should cycle so long as I haven't beat the crap out of that gas block. So that's my next concern, which, yeah, this last week I haven't had a chance to actually give it a good look because I thought about that the other day that, yeah, I was hammering at home and realizing, yeah, that piston was out of the gas block and I was just hammering it back in. So not good, but should have it up and running. This weekend, I got a 3-day weekend, so I am planning on working on guns. I have a bunch of guns here to work on, the WK included. So a few shotguns and the WK, and I guess they want to do some work on the range on Saturday. So yeah. Well, while we were doing the live stream, I mentioned I had that DH3 trigger. It will not go into WK because of where they have the pin for the bolt hold open. The case on that DH3 trigger is just a little bit different. It's different geometry, so that unfortunately that new trigger can't go in the WK, but changing how I take down the Martin Sporter, it will work in the Martin Sporter, provided that ever makes it so that I can actually use it.
I was just going to ask, what are you going to use it on? Where are you going to use it?
That's the plan right now. Other than that, I keep looking around. I'm interested to see the Gen 2s, but I think they probably going to be the same issue with the Gen 2s.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
other than
Great.
that, that's basically it for me. Adriel, how about you?
Oh, I did a maple seed. I was at a maple seed actually. Tom was running it as shoot boss, which is kind of nice. So
Yeah. How's that?
Yeah.
Nice to have other
fantastic.
people running events, eh?
oh, it was super. It was actually really easy. Super consistent. Cold and windy.
Yeah.
It's about 0 degrees and like constant 30-kilometer-an-hour winds, which 30-kilometer-an-hour winds makes a maple seed difficult. And
Yep.
at 0, it makes it chilly.
Even
Yeah.
more difficult. Yes.
Well, I mean, actually, last weekend when I was at that Stop the Bleed, I was talking to one of the guys from Sherwood Park, and I'm like, hey, you know, it'd be cool. I think Maple Seed could use some wood bases. I think your Thursday night fun shoot could use some wood bases. Why don't we make some of these adjustable wood bases, the kind that like squish together with the with a little wing nut, and you can squish like the uprights, and we'll just make like a pile of bases. And he's like, yeah, that's a good idea. We should do that. And he's like, okay, I made a test unit. I'm like, cool. Yeah, why don't we make the rest? Okay, I'm done. He just made them all. Nice. 20 bases. So
Nice.
yeah,
Awesome.
yeah, it's so nice to some of the guys out there are just like so selfless and work so hard at this kind of
Yeah.
stuff, and it does make doing this kind of. So, anyways, Sunday rolls around. We have this maple seed. And thankfully, we had these bases because if we had run a target line, those targets would have been bouncing in the wind.
It would've
And they
been
weren't.
gone.
They were rock solid on those bases.
Awesome.
Nice.
And we actually had a pile of shooters qualify. We had we had 15 registered. One person no showed because like the weather was not that great. A couple of people dropped out during the day. At the end of the day, we had 10 people, like right at the end of the day, and 8 of them had shot a rifleman, which is
That's a high percentage.
pretty unheard of. Yeah, that's
8 out of 10. Wow.
I've had plenty of matches events where no one qualifies. So to have 8 out of 10 people qualify was something else. There's a lot of people there that shoot ORPS and are otherwise competition shooters, and yeah, they did really well.
Awesome.
Nice.
So
So you filled it with ringers then.
That'd be
all
great.
ringers from Sherwood Park. That was something else. I was planning on doing a bit of shooting at the range on the weekend, but just like a day out and 30-kilometer-an-hour winds, like I got like windburn, and I didn't feel it. I wasn't feeling it by the end of the day. One thing I did do, so I hadn't unpacked all my gun stuff by last weekend because I was still finishing up like painting in this gun room and whatnot. I couldn't find any like decent shooting glasses. Like I found some like real crappy ones. I was at Cabela's and I picked up this Wiley X Saber. They're an inexpensive replaceable lens eyewear from Wiley X. They got like adjustable arms and whatnot, so you can like adjust them off or back or forward, and put the strap around your head if you want to look like a nerd or whatever. And they have like interchangeable lenses in actually a really nice little case here that's a little bit like stiffened on the outside. So they've got like a clear, tinted, and I think a gold or something like that. Taking the lenses off this thing is a bastard. Like it's such a terrible system. I can't even believe that they sell them. It's so bad. Taking them off and then putting because the problem is there is no locking mechanism on here. It's literally like in the instructions, like, oh, you just like pull them apart. Well, if you do that, you can bend the acrylic on the lenses as they're like going back in there. So I can't say I'm
got force them apart.
Yeah. There's no I have another Aegis Echoes or something like that, and they have like a little locking lever. Like you pull the little locking lever and boop, you pull the lens off of it, and works really well. These ones, like literally, you got to like rip this friggin' lens right off the arm.
Don't do it.
Oh wow!
I'm just gonna mess it up even more. I'll just use them like that, tinted all the time. It's gonna be 90s rock star look all the
Terminator.
time. Yeah,
Wow.
Terminator look. There's no clear
That's
lens
awesome.
option. Sorry, those don't even exist on these things. Anyways, can't say I'm a fan of that. I tried going to the clears because like it wasn't like it wasn't a bright day. I don't really like. I don't know if I'm too self-conscious. I don't really like the like super tinted badass ones. I'd rather just run clears so I can look someone in the eyes. But no such luck with those.
Put the yellow ones on.
I'll put the yellow ones on. Yeah. I'll just.
So
leave
do they
those
have
on.
a frame across the whole width?
No, the arm stops just right there.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it's just hanging on to that much of the lens. This foam piece stays, and the nose you squeeze and you pull the nose piece off, and then that goes. So it's not super convenient to like change lenses on it. They weren't as expensive. My other ones were like $120. So they're like twice the price of these. But I'd rather just get another set of those than this one. These $60 ones. They don't sit quite right with me.
Yeah. I like makes me like my tombstones more and more.
Yeah, like well, my other ones, like my $120 ones, they're good. The like the arms on this one are quite thick, which is another like downside. I didn't really find it bothered me that much, and I'm normally like pretty sensitive to like a real thick eyepiece because you put on a thick eyepiece and then your ear pro squishes it into your temple. But these ones, I didn't feel they were that bad. But I'd rather have a thin one, and these things are pretty.
I have a set of the Wiley X, and it comes with I think 5 different lenses that are interchangeable, and the arm. So the top of the lens is frameless, and then the arms just clip onto the lens itself.
Yeah,
and they work quite easy. They're just a little pressure lock, and you just unclip them, and they're expensive, but they work.
These don't have any pressure. Well, they have a pressure lock. They have a friction lock on them. I wish they had a pressure lock. I followed the instructions at first. I tried it at the range. I'm like, oh, these don't seem to come apart. Okay, well maybe I'll go home and check out the instructions. And the instructions are like, nah, just like yank that shit off. And okay, but yeah, not
So not a fan.
Not a fan. You know, if the lenses were easy to take off, I really like the case. The fact that it comes with 3 lenses for like $60 or whatever.
That's good.
I'm sold. You know, that's a good deal. Oh, it comes with red. Oh, I don't like it. No, sorry. Red.
That would be nice for clay shooting.
I'll put the clear in there. I don't clay shoot enough. And like the case itself, like has like little pockets for each of the lenses, which it's all really nice, but
yeah,
I don't like it.
You're starting to sound like Trevor. You know that, right?
Am I? And then also while I was at Cabela's, I found a set of Challenger mini shells, so I'll be using these maybe this weekend. It's Easter weekend, so maybe I'll bring these out to the rents and go shoot on the back 40.
Nice.
Awesome.
So shoot some
mini eggs with mini shells.
Yeah.
Little baby shotgun shells. Yeah.
Babies.
That's interesting. Cool. That's it for me. What about you, Kelly?
Did a whole bunch of stuff this week. I did the She Shoots podcast. So it was episode 4, it was called Running and Gunning, and it was on Tuesday night with Amanda Fisher and Laura Seitz. We were talking about IPSC, IDPA, 3-gun, and Steel Challenge, and these ladies are fantastic. It's available on the Lady Guns YouTube channel as well as Facebook, as well as the QSIF YouTube and Facebook. And I'm going to share it on my page too. I just haven't had a chance yet. So I'm gonna share it there. Really, really good to talk to Amanda. Amanda's been on the show a couple of times. I was talking to her about that. And Laura is heavily into Steel Challenge right now, and she's a fantastic shooter as well. So other things that I've been doing is Maple Seed still 24/7. I'm prepping for this weekend. We have the IBC that's happening here in Ontario, and then on Sunday we have our inaugural Ontario shoot. It's at FRPC, which is my home range. So I get to sleep in my bed this weekend. That's awesome. And just to let you know, Adriel as well, I'm now currently booking into the 2023 season for Maple Seed. Just have to let you know.
That's not real. That's not real.
Got message today. It is.
Fake news. No.
Fake news.
I said, I'm adding that to the show notes. The other thing I did this week as well is I'm paid my membership at FRPC, which is great because I'm going there this weekend. Last weekend, I also went to the range. I took Okay, a couple of couples to the range. So the United Way has a fundraiser at work every year, and as part of the prize package, people get to bid on stuff. I usually offer a day at the range with me, and I wasn't going to do it this year or this last year that happened because I've been so busy. But yeah, anyways, the deputy warden tracked me down and said, "Listen, you're going to be offering the day at the range, right?" And I went, "Okay, all right," because it raises a lot of money. Anyways, so the person that won, she came out this past weekend with her partner and had a fantastic, and I mean a fantastic day at the range. She just loved it. And then I also actually had another couple that came out later, and we shot as well. So the person that Wiley, he's a friend of mine. I worked with him as well. He just got his PAL RPAL. He's waiting for it 6 months. Said it's coming soon. Anyways, so he came out and he also wanted to know if he could bring out his girlfriend. His girlfriend came to the the Ottawa University Ladies' Day, which was a CUSIF sponsored event a couple of weeks ago. So I met her there. And yeah, we were talking and she's caught the bug as well. So she's going for her PAL. And yeah, the couple is just all about guns now. So, which is great.
Good.
Yeah, right? Which is awesome.
Yeah, couples that shoot together stay together.
Yeah. So, anyways.
My wife doesn't shoot.
Oh, sorry.
So, funny moments from this weekend were I bought the Wrangler because I wanted people just to be able to shoot, just to say they shot a revolver. And then they got to shoot all kinds of different handguns and that. And I gave them what I purposely did was said, here's what we're going to do. We're going to try every single gun. And then you can try the ones that you really like to see, again, about fit and how they feel. And I actually even offered all of them to take them to SFRC when they do get their PALs. They do come in to take them shopping as well. So they looked at the Wrangler and they had fun with that, but then they immediately dismissed it when they wanted to shoot the other guns. So I said, that's good because it's not a real gun anyways. And they got to shoot my 28 gauge, my 12 gauge. They got to shoot my 10-22. And yeah, so Wyatt has asked me for a complete list of everything that's on the 10-22, and yeah, he's regretting it. And then the WK, only every fourth or fifth shot was going, so I'm gonna have to fix that.
Can you just send it to me, Kelly, and I could fix it?
Yeah, I could.
Yeah,
I could have somebody else fix it. So
I sold it to you as like a working gun. Why don't you send it to me? I'll fix it.
So, and the other thing is, I brought out the PGW rifle that I have, and they got to shoot it. So, took them over to the rifle range, 6.5 Creedmoor. They had a blast, literally. Anyways, so it was a full day at the range. Everybody loved it. It was 19 degrees. It was just so nice out. Anyways, ladies' days, booking all kinds of those, by the way. So we're going to talk about that in the event section. But other than that, yeah, that was me. What about you, Mo?
Before you just go on, the Wrangler. So you mentioned like people shot it until they figured out that they could shoot the other guns and they stopped using it. I was kind of thinking the same thing. Like I got the Wrangler so that people could shoot a Revolvo Gat at the range, but I have like really no use for it otherwise. That was like the same experience you had. People shot it and like, oh yeah, that's neat. Shoot something more interesting. Yeah,
that's exactly it. Like I'm showing them, okay, open the gate, we put one in, rotate, put another one in, rotate, put another one in, close the gate, shoot, open the gate. Now you're gonna have to rotate it and then push, and it's like
and they got
poke them all out. Right? Yeah,
they're going, this is taking forever. I said, right? I said, now we're gonna go shoot real guns.
I was gonna say, then you introduce them to a detachable mag.
Yes. Yeah, and they're going, oh, I like that.
No, shoot.
They like that until they have to reload it.
Yes, anyways, so. That is exactly it. Wrangler is a great experience for people just so that they can say that they've shot, a revolver.
I owned one for a day.
Yeah.
A whole day.
A whole day.
Yeah. Anyways, that's it. Mo, what about you? And then we'll go on to Josh.
Okay. I had an IPSC match last Saturday at the Outaouais Club, which is about 20-ish minutes from Gatineau. It was 6 stages. The only thing different is I shot at 9 a.m. and most of my matches are usually, like, unless it's a big one, an L3, are at 12, 1 o'clock. So it was a little bit of an adjustment to an earlier start. But it went really well. So, and it was 6 pretty creative stages. One was a weekend one, and I didn't do too bad. So, and overall, I was very happy with it. And that's really much it. The squads for the Ontario provincials were released, and I had chosen, or my first pick was Saturday squad, and I got that, but I wasn't surprised because I had registered within the first minute.
Yeah.
I was just looking at it. I think they have close to 300 people already registered, and
I thought it was done.
No. Because of the amount of spots, I think they have. When I was looking at it, there's probably like 380 spots available total, right? So, and they're close to 300 already. So it's going to be a pretty big.
Okay.
I don't know if it's. I don't want to speak out of hand, but I don't think it's the biggest. But I was looking at through the history of the Ontario, and I think the biggest ones were at like close to 300 or just over 300. So I think this could end up being one of the biggest ones if it fills up. So
correct me if I'm wrong. Like nationals usually isn't that many, is it? I thought
I've never been to a national.
Like 250.
Yeah, it's possible then. So I think this is going to be a massive IPSC event, right?
That'd be nice.
So, yeah, no, it's good to see. I mean, and there should be more shooters out there, right? Because, like, we keep adding to the numbers. I don't think it's not about a sport that people retire at 50 and then they're done, right? So
yeah. What weekend is that?
It's at the.
I didn't even look because I figured I was busy.
Beginning of July. I think it was July 2nd or 3rd. So
okay.
And that's like the second L3 because there's one at the beginning of June as well. So,
okay.
Which I'm registered for too. How about you, Josh? What'd you do?
I did a couple of things. I broke a few things this week, which is not the best, but happens. One thing that is interesting is that a few weeks ago, you guys did a podcast about hearing protection. And I don't remember if you talked about these ones or not, the Caldwell in-ear bud ones, but interesting story about these, set of 2 now. They were a set of 1 for the last 4 months or so because I lost one somewhere. I knew it was in the driveway, long driveway. I couldn't find it. And so I wrote it off and thought it was gone forever. And then yesterday,
shoot, like offhand shooting with the pistol and like pistol in one hand and just finger in the other.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, what I did was but even funnier is I bought a second pair because they went on sale at Bullseye North, significantly on sale. So I bought a second set, of which I lost one of them also.
Oh no!
I had my ear on the 4-wheeler on a trail in the property, but anyhow, I managed to find that one. And the original one that I lost, I found just yesterday, and it was in the driveway where I thought I had lost it, and the ear insulator bud part was chewed right off of it. It was like the mice or bugs got at it, totally dead, covered in mud. I put it in the case, and it looked like it was taking a charge. And so I let it sit overnight. And then this morning when I went to go shooting, I put it in and it beep, beep, connected, locked right up, went onto my phone. Unbelievable. I was very impressed by that.
Wow.
That's
nice.
It was about 4 months. It fell out of my ear and it was under the snow, through the melt, the rains, everything. And it still worked.
Wow.
And it was, when I found it, it was delicate side up, like the part that puts out the noise. It was sitting that side up. So I thought for sure it was done. So pretty impressed by that.
Yeah, that's impressive.
So that unbroke. I unbroke that today. And then today I broke. I'm not sure what's happening with this. It's my PC carbine. And it's historically it's always worked great and never had an issue. But now I went to cycle it today, and the trigger just nothing there. It's almost like the trigger's. No, the trigger is resetting. It's just the hammer's not dropping. I can hear the reset. Yeah, it's resetting, but it won't drop. So I don't know. I don't like gunsmithing, so I'll have to take it apart and figure out what's wrong. But maybe I'll just send it to you instead, Adriel.
I think this is a good idea.
Probably figure it out.
Yeah. And then, I don't know. That trigger does have a play screw so that you can eliminate the amount of play before you hit the wall. And so I thought that might have been the issue originally, but I don't think it is. I think it's something internal. I just put it on the tandem cross chassis on it, this whole thing here with the mag release and whatnot. So normally it's just one screw and it all comes apart. But now with this mag release, I think I have to take it apart to get in there. And I didn't have a screwdriver small enough. So it remains broken until later on. And then the second thing, this didn't happen this week. I guess it did happen this week. I was at the range, and my Dan Wesson. It's not supposed to stay like that. It's not supposed to do that. So I was shooting, and I'm not sure what happened. I took a shot, and it just didn't recoil. And I wasn't sure why. And then I dropped the mag and cleared the chamber and looked at it. And the spring was gone, and I found it. And the spring retainer nut, which holds that thing in there, is still missing. I don't have a clue where that went. So I had cleaned it before I took it out shooting. So perhaps I didn't have this thing that holds that spring in my possession. Perhaps it was off to the side, maybe.
Maybe you didn't put the plug on there.
Either way,
just straight spring into the
the plug was on. Well, no, the plug was definitely on there because I remember fighting it to get it in. So yeah, I don't really know if I have to test it. I have to order the parts now, and when it comes in, see if I don't know if it would shoot out when it's just this thing is set to the wrong setting or not. I feel like it shouldn't, because a lot of people would probably do that.
You'd have to turn quite a bit, I think, in order to do that.
Yeah, the bushing would fly off. Yeah.
Yeah, the one way it's sort of safe, and then the other way is for taking it apart. So I don't know.
I don't think it would like
that gun.
Those plugs should be cheap though. The spring plug that goes on the end there.
Yes, they are. Another thing, and Adriel, you might know this. I don't know if you can tell by the spring or not, but the one end of the spring looks to be finished, and then the other one, this end here, looks finished, like it's wrapped onto itself. Whereas this end, it just kind of left there. So I don't know if that's broken or if that's normal or what.
Well, I mean, that's normal on some shotgun recoil springs and that kind of thing, and usually like an unfinished end will go into a tube or something like that. So maybe that's the side that's supposed to go into the plug that goes into the barrel bushing. Yeah, and the other flat side's supposed to go towards the back.
Yeah,
I guess.
I checked at SFRC today. I was there, and Marcy, I was going to check with the gunsmith, but she's pretty sure that it's universal parts for the 1911. Some 1911s have proprietary parts, but I don't think that's one for that particular part. So then I can just get it cheap anywhere. So that was my breaking weekend in guns.
Not a good week.
No,
it was a good week. You got to shoot, but not a good week for your guns and gun repairs.
True.
Yeah.
True.
Did you order the part yet?
No, I haven't. I wanted to wait and see if it was proprietary or not. So I'll probably order it tomorrow or soon.
I think Adriel's.
I was going to say Adriel's digging around.
It sounds like
let me check my tickle trunk.
Nice. Okay, we'll get into upcoming events sponsored by TLS Alpha. TLS Alpha is a Canadian digital agency that works exclusively in the farms vertical. They help with business processes, strategic planning, websites, e-commerce, and battling the stigma the industry carries with banks, merchant processors, and social media. Learn more at tlsalpha.com. So we have Maple Seed events are available at mapleseedrifleman.com. Kelly, do you want to mention any more? Or?
No,
Good.
there's
No.
there's all kinds that are available right now. Some in Alberta, some that are in Saskatchewan, some that have been posted in New Brunswick and Ontario as well. I think there's more that are coming out in Ontario this week. Maybe, I don't know, Adriel. I think there is actually.
I think I need to add some of yours to the website that were emailed out.
Yep, perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, we're getting to the point where I think that our website's getting too full.
Is
Website's getting too full.
Is the Kingston Maple Seed sold out? I saw there was 2 spots left like last week, but I
No,
forgot.
it's still not sold out. No, the
Oh.
inaugural one. No, we still have a couple of spots,
Great.
which is weird.
Yeah, it is weird. And so it's fate. I may have to attend.
Yeah.
There you go.
Although I already have the patch. I don't know how I got this, but I think I have 2 of them.
Nice.
I've already done it.
Next up, we have the Cabin Fever Classic, registered sporting clay match at Wapiti Shooters Club, April 29th to May 1st. Go to wapitishootersclub.ca. And we have Ladies' Days events. Kelly, also known as the CCFR's Women's Division, is looking to sponsor Ladies' Days events at your range. This is a range-driven initiative, but if you would like sponsorship and support, contact Kelly at slamfireradio@gmail.com or info@firearmsrights.ca. And I had put a story in here that I just happened to notice before we came on, that there was in the news that a guy was arrested, I guess, in Calgary, and he was he went into to rob a gun store with pepper spray, and I guess so it was amusing because, and then in the story it says that the one of the guys at the store grabbed the pepper spray and then sprayed the guy, and he took off, and they ended up arresting him. And then to add to the oddity of it, I think this happened on the 10th or 11th, that they're saying that this guy had tried to rob another gun store 2 days before and had been obviously arrested and released, and then he went and did it again. So, and he was released on the second one as well. So
catch and release.
of course,
That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Catch and release.
See, I was actually expecting the store clerk that sprayed him to be under charges with that.
No.
No, you can use it. You can use it for defense. You just can't have it for the purpose of using this.
Yeah,
for
but
offense.
the way things are going, I kind of expected to hear that come out of that story. But.
Yeah.
no, you're right.
Josh, no dice on the plug. I got extra recoil springs.
Yeah.
Thanks for trying.
Okay.
Yeah. I thought it was an amusing story anyways. The pepper spray, the rearrests, all of it. So
Criminals are not smart. You know that. That's why they're dumb.
Yeah.
Bad life choices.
I didn't get it to put it in, but there were 2 I'll say gentlemen in Florida that I don't know if they both killed each other, but they were swapping bulletproof vests and shooting at each other. So
That's very Florida. Florida man. Florida man shooting at each other with bulletproof vests on. Why would you arrest them?
So clearly they're not
Florida.
geniuses. We know that. So anyways,
have you ever played that game, Mo, where you go put your birth date on Google, like Florida, and then Florida man, then your birth date, and find out what Florida man did on your birthday?
No, I never did that. That's cool. Florida man. Oh, that's funny.
Okay.
Okay. CCFR legal donations. Don't think we have anything new, but please help them out wherever you can. You can do that through sending an EMT at finance@firearmsrights.ca, and this is to help with the legal fund and any of the stuff they do, really. we'll get into new gun stuff, sponsored by Bolt Action Coffee. Slamfire Radio is a brand ambassador for Bolt Action Coffee. The coffee is roasted in small batches and is quite honestly some of the best coffee you can get your hands on. Send it to your house by going to www.boltactioncoffee.com, and the discount code is SLAMFIRE, all caps. And then we have for our new gun stuff.
Yeah, I'll pull up a couple of here's one of the things that I just wanted to mention is that the WK Gen 2s, the 180s Gen 2s are showing up in people's hands, so that's kind of interesting. This first one I wanted to show is Graybird Solutions. They have their chassis for the T1X.
Super excited about this.
On the way. The T1Xs, you know, like I would say this could be the best rimfire, but like there's something up with their magazine or their feed solution where rounds come in and they get spit up and then they don't feed correctly. And I've seen that on more than one of those things. But once they got that figured, like that, the bolt action on the T1X is fantastic.
Yeah,
like they've got a real contender to the CZs there.
Yeah, I think it just gets hung up. That's all. Feeding.
Yeah, it's odd.
What else you got? What else you got? What else you got?
Load, please, Mr. Facebook. Okay, well, there it goes. Savage is releasing. Is it going to load? No. Okay. Maybe if I come back and go back to it again. The Savage 64 Precision is an MDT chassis. So Savage 64. I don't know why it doesn't want to load. It's not loading. The Brand 2 MS. So there was an April Fool's thing that I saw that things got an NR FRT, but they did. So they're available now. Iron Guns had the restricted versions of these for sale already, not the non-restricted ones, though. I don't know if these are registered as pistols. If these are registered as pistols, you and they might be because in the US, like this would be like pistol size. You can't register them as a rifle here, so there's really no point in getting one unless you wanted to have like a restricted one and maybe put a stock on it afterwards. So North Silva will be bringing in the non-restricted ones whenever those come in. Oh, there we go. Now it's loading. Okay, well, there's the Savage 64 with a scope on it that's worth probably 3 or 4 times what the rifle is. And Savage 64 Precision. Some of those words don't make sense putting next to each other.
No, that doesn't. No working.
Canada's Gun Store has Beretta pistols in stock. So if you're looking for an APX or an M9A3, you want to do like LARP as a 90s action hero or something like that, they've got the M9s. They got the APXs as well.
Do you know anyone that makes a trigger for those?
For Beretta?
Berettas? APX?
No, not at all. Have you checked if M Carbo has any spring kits for it?
Yeah, it's not the spring kit. Mine, it pinches my finger on the trigger guard. On the bottom of the trigger, between the bottom of the trigger and the trigger guard. So I wanted to replace the trigger with a flat face or something, but it's
yeah, no idea on who makes replacement triggers for that thing.
I'll have to Dremel it out.
With a Dremel and JB Weld, anything is possible.
Yes.
This one I wanted to show because I haven't seen these before. So we've seen these Turkish guns everywhere and the Turkish shotguns, and some of them do some interesting things. This one I don't believe I've seen before. It's an over-under 20 gauge that folds. Folds down the middle. Interesting, right?
Very interesting, yeah.
Like a small game gun that you can like pack around, and like they had the single shots like this, but why not a double? Why not 2-barrel, right? Yeah, I found that interesting because I haven't seen anything like that before.
It's just odd.
It's odd, but like I can see the practical benefit of it because you could like backpack that thing and then go like grouse hunting or something like that and have 2 shots instead of 1. Like the singles are super practical. The break action singles that fold like that, they're around $200. They give you 1 shot on game. Yeah, interesting.
I would hope that it would have something like a release or something to get it to actually fold that doesn't, as soon as you break it open, fold in half like that.
I would assume so. I think you
Yeah.
don't have to.
There's
push the
a
button.
separate lock. I have a 12 gauge version of it, not that brand, different brand, and you can crack it like a regular brake action, and then there's another pin that you have to sort of push to have it fold all the way in.
Okay.
But it kicks like a mule though. That just because
Oh,
they're so
yeah.
small.
Like to welcome to the show, Josh. Here to talk about building a gun room. Clearly, he's a gun guy based on the stuff all behind him. Before we get started on the gun room stuff, tell us a little bit about yourself.
My name's Josh. I know Kelly sort of over the last couple of years. We
Sold me some appliances.
sold her some appliances. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I
Yeah.
haven't really been. I've had my hunting license for forever, and I bought my first gun when I was 17 or 18 or whatever. But I haven't never really got into it until recently, a few years back, probably 10 years ago. Actually, might have been more than that. It was when Facebook still allowed you to sell firearms. I used to buy and sell a lot.
So
And
good.
I had a friend that used to redo them for me, so he'd carbon fiber dip them or whatever. So I'd buy them cheap and then sell them and ship them away, and kind of got into it that way and started to build up a bit of a collection.
Mhm.
And then at that point, I just had one of those old stack-on gun safes in the corner, and I just kept moving them in and out of there. And then we just built a house recently, and that's when I built this gun room. Happened by accident, sort of, but funny story.
Where you're like
the,
just moving in and just, honey, I accidentally made a gun room. Sorry.
well, no. So what happened was it's a log home, like the pine round logs, and I was the general contractor, and I don't have a clue what I'm doing. So it was up to me to do the foundation, and then the log home guys were going to come in and do the prefab log home that they built on top of the foundation. So before they delivered it, we were sitting here in the basement, and the one foreman of the log builder company looks around. He says, "Wait a minute, you built a rectangular foundation?" And I said, "Yeah." And he says, "Your house isn't rectangular." So, whoa, oops. So what had happened is that I just made a big square, and it turns out the front of my house juts in a little bit. So that jut there was no footing there. So I had to sort of pour a footing after the cement was already done. And what it ended up leaving was a 6 foot by 40 foot long space that was used for, we didn't have a plan for it. So I sold my wife on the idea, saying that it'd be a wine room and a gun room, sort of is the angle that I took to put it in place. I think there are still a few.
Is there wine in there?
But
Like 3 bottles in the corner.
there's a wine rack. There's a wine rack. And
There's a
some
wine rack.
homemade wine is disgusting, but we keep it in there just to make it look full. So now
It's for the guests that come over.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Christmas presents. So now it's just a gun room, and it's my
Yeah, you've gotten
time.
You've gotten quite heavily into firearms. I know that when I went and met you, it was great to chat with you. We sat down for a little bit. We talked about guns first, and then you did sell me some appliances. But you also you quite regularly write into the show as well about your experiences and also with firearms as well. You gave us some great feedback on Grey Birch Solutions as well. So it was it's good. When we were talking about building a gun room, you had actually written in and also sent in some pictures too about your gun room that you built, and I said this would be a great topic because I know a lot of people right now during the pandemic, people were getting into home renovations, and then everything skyrocketed, like the price of lumber and all that. But lumber's starting to come down again, and people are still working from home and that. And this might be something that might interest them. We actually had a lot of people write into the show or ask questions about specifically building a gun room. What are the specifications around it? What are some do's and don'ts? And it's, you just built one. Adriel's building one currently. Let's talk about it. That's why I reached out to you. I thought it'd be a great idea to have, this is a topic this week.
Yeah, good timing. Very good timing. I think I sent that letter in just kind of out of the blue a couple weeks ago, or an email or whatever. So yeah, good timing.
So anyways.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess there's a couple things to think about, right? Because some people think of a gun room and they've got like it's more like a gun locker, like an enlarged gun locker, maybe, if you will, like a
Closet.
Yeah, like a closet that's basically been secured. So I guess for American listeners, like here in Canada, the part of the allure to a gun room would be that you can store all your guns in there with none of the safe restrictions that would be in any other room, I guess, because they're like hardened, built for. When you constructed yours, I guess the cool thing about yours is that you pour like a ton of cement, right? So it's a pretty secure room just by itself like that.
Yeah, it's also a gun room. It could be a bunker or a prepper room. I'd kind of do a little bit of everything in here just because it's built that way. I think the regulations get a little bit sticky if you have firearms and ammunition in there, and then if there's a window, then that gets a little tricky. So this is 4 walls are, well, 3.5 of the walls are all cement, and then the door I chose to put on it is it's not an actual safe door, but it mimics one. So it's a solid. It's not solid steel, but it is steel, and it has a peephole and the combination lock on the outside, digital combination lock. So it is basically a vault. So, but I don't know if you had a window and if you just had a little wooden door and you could break in with an X-Acto knife like some houses nowadays, you might be a little bit different for the regs.
Yeah, well, the regulations say that it's been constructed to be difficult to break into. And that's basically it. There's no like must be steel, must not have window, and all these other things. I think the window thing, the risk there is you get some looky-loos. Someone might like jump into your backyard and take a look around and be like, oh, there's a window here, and look in and see like a crap ton of guns, and that would set you up for potential theft in the future. I don't know how. I don't think anyone actually knows how this would play out in court, though, because it just doesn't come up very often. The times it has come up, like even guys who have like concrete bunkers that take like days to get in still get charged with unsafe storage.
Be a good Ian Runkle episode.
Yeah, I think he has done episodes on it. It just comes down to a lot of the stuff isn't tested in court. So. You might, like any one of us may have to test it just by virtue of getting charged with some nonsense charge. But yeah, suffice to say, constructed in a way that is hard to break into. I've got I don't have concrete for 3 walls. I got concrete for 2 walls, and the other 2 are hardened. And I've got a steel door with a big bad deadbolt on it and whatnot as well. Combo, because everything's combo here. Got to go combo. In terms of, so I guess for a lot of people, their house size and kind of what rooms they have available will dictate how much space they have. You mentioned you put a couple of extra things in here, like wine and that kind of thing. What other activities did you think about including or making space for in your gun room?
Well, the wine was a wife sell more than anything, but the other factor,
part of the sale or the deal there, it's a wine sale.
Yeah, you need to have buy-in, right? You need to have buy-in. She did all the, I don't know if you can see up here, all the brick portion of it. It's not brick, it's just meant to look like brick, and she did all that. So she bought in and we did it together. It was great. The other things that I use in here, I'm looking at it now, there's kind of preppery sort of stuff. I've actually got a couple of comments lately, the people that know that I have this room, when they see the political climate and the wars in Ukraine and just all the chaos generally that's happening, and people are starting to trend to get a little bit more, not paranoid, but just want to be prepared for their own safety. So I have an area in here that has buckets of pre-made meals. I think each bucket is 4 meals for 2 people or something like that. And then there's calorie cubes, and there's mixed gas that doesn't go bad, and water, and blah, 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 blah. So that's a portion of it. And then also from a security perspective, I did things like the lights run off a remote control, so you can't turn them on physically inside or outside. You have to have this remote control. So if someone did break in, and they happen to be in the gun room, then I can just shut the lights off. And then it's be pitch black. So good luck finding your way through a pitch black
Interesting.
room. No lights on.
That's interesting.
That's very clever.
Yeah. So
I was thinking of
That
putting
was-
a video camera either in mine or on the entrance to it. I'm not quite sure which one I want to do. On the entrance on the way in, I guess you could like see people coming in. On the inside, you could see what they're doing in there. I'm not sure which one to do though. Have you thought about like security cameras or anything like that?
I have, but I live in the country and the Wi-Fi is not the best, and most of this I don't want to run wires necessarily. I mean, if half would have a computer surveillance system, but so I have thought about doing a couple cameras, and I do have a Wi-Fi camera in the driveway, and I've thought about doing a camera in here and outside and that sort of thing, but I just haven't got there yet. Nor do I have room with the design of this being 6 feet wide and 40 long. There's just it's not a lot of depth of wall space.
Interesting. You said you had a peephole in the door. That's kind of interesting. I kind of like that idea because I guess like push comes to shove, that's your panic room, right?
Exactly. Yeah, and that's all the supplies are in here, and that's another reason why the switch is only from that remote, because if somebody's on the outside and the switch is on the outside, then that's not very convenient.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
What about what? So you have a peephole in the door, but what type of door is it? How secure is that door specifically?
so I couldn't without. You could shoot through it, I'm sure, with a slug or something. I wouldn't want to stand on the other side of it and test it with birdshot even, but not solid steel, but it's definitely made of metal.
Okay.
So
If it's an exterior door, it's
hinges
probably
are-
like wrapped metal, right? That's what mine is. It's wrapped metal. They're sturdy enough. You can beat them in with what do you call those?
Battering ram.
Battering rams. Yeah, you can beat them in with those, but it'll take a while, and you really got to get after them.
Yeah, it'd really take a few hard kicks in the right spots to make anything happen, I think. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
I wanted one of those big safe, like the big Browning,
Big safe doors.
door
Yep.
safes,
Yeah.
big crank and that sort of thing. But we almost did, but they're pretty expensive. So
They're expensive, and like the convenience. Like think about it, you're going to be in and out of there all the time, and like rolling. The bigger the door, the heavier and the more inertia it has to swing. Like at some point, it's just not convenient anymore. You got to there has to be a balance between security and being able to use the thing, usability.
Yeah, and another thing too is people that live in the household. It's just my wife and I, but she doesn't have her pal or our pal. So technically, when I leave the house, this thing needs to be locked down like a safe, because she can't have access, right? So
Yeah.
she doesn't know the combination to the door and whatever. So if I'm in the doghouse, I can lock myself in here and lock her.
Speaking of Ian Runkle, you should show her the video about her getting her pal. Maybe a good idea.
Yeah. I haven't seen that, but I've been trying to get her to do it sooner.
Yeah.
So you get one of those combo keypad dealies for the lock, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Just
I was thinking about getting one of the fingerprint ones, but they're like $300 plus to get anything with any reliability. And you can get the Bluetooth one, but then I need a phone on me and keypad.
So my wife made me for Christmas. It's like an alarm clock stand, but it's also a safe, and it has a fingerprint entry
Biometric
system on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And it's good for what it is. I think she didn't pay much, like $30 on Amazon. I mean, I wouldn't want to bet my life on it or anything, but if her fingerprint won't work, mine does. No one. So it's. I'm pretty impressed with it so far.
Cool.
And then there's a little spring so that the safe door like pops open when you do reach over and boop. So
Nice.
So I wouldn't be opposed to one of those, but a good one would probably be expensive, and you don't want to be locked out of your gun room. That's for sure.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Especially when it counts. What about lighting?
Yeah.
No, Adriel was doing the Chinesium roll
Strip lights. Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of them.
So I see your lighting actually is pretty good. What type of lighting do you have in there?
There's a few different things happening. So the main lights right now are off because they're the domes in the ceiling. I haven't turned off. It's just too bright.
Too bright? Yeah.
And they're the bright white lights. So I've got bright white and warm white. The spotlights that are shining on the wall behind me right now are warm white. I don't know if you can see that little vortex sign right there too.
Yeah, we can.
Right above my finger. It's they donated it for the Gunroom actually, which is kind of nice of them.
Nice.
But that's put out some light. And then over my pistols, which you can't see here, I don't know if I can spin this and not make everybody right there. There's a separate light there, so
Yeah, okay.
you can just run your hand in front of it and it turns on and off.
Nice.
So it's kind of like a strip light, but a little bit different.
Okay, cool.
And then I've got there's at the very far end, there's a spotlight from an old ship, like a antique ship, ocean running ship, big spotlight from that I've repurposed, and it's shining on the guns hanging vertically at the end.
Yes.
So a few different things. If I would have thought about it, I would have done LED strips probably, because they are convenient in the different colors and the warm and cool light that you can choose, but I didn't think of it at the time.
Can I back up just a little bit? I have a question about purpose. Why exactly did you actually build the room? What was the purpose of it? Was it just to keep the guns, or were you intending to bring people in and show them? And is that why you've did a little bit more fine detail? Because there is a difference too.
Yeah, it all sort of happened organically by accident. So we had the space that we didn't expect. So that was the purpose for the room. Right there is just extra space to fill. And then when we started to build it, it started with the door, believe it or not, and we found it on I don't know, Facebook Marketplace or Kijiji or whatever. And so we went and got that. And once the door was installed, then I was thinking about how to hang or how to put the guns in generally. And I bought a rack to hang them vertically, and I hung that on the wall, and they're hung vertically. It's still back in the back there. But it didn't take up, there was too much space left over because you could stack a lot of guns in vertically. So then we started to talk about, my wife and I started to talk about the pegboard idea. And then it was more, not really for display, but just for our display. We weren't intending on showing it off or anything. And then, so that went up, and then the lighting wasn't good. So then the lights went up, and then that wasn't great. So then we put a bulkhead in, and so on and so forth. And it just kind of grew and became what it is now. So I guess no purpose is the answer to your question, just accidental.
So it's like renovations. You start with one thing and it just has a life of its own.
Snowballs. Yeah.
Balloons into a much bigger project.
I think one of the main allure for me for a gun room is being able to have guns, ammo, everything just in one spot, and have lots of space for it. Not have to schmiggle things into a safe and this one's got to go this way. This one's got to go upside down. Can't put that one next to this one because they got the bolts. I just got all the space in the world to stack all that stuff in there and not have to worry about any of that kind of stuff.
There's nothing worse than if you're going to buy a gun online or something used and they say it's mint condition except for a safe kiss. Just cringe. That safe kiss word. You never know how bad it is or what it is. So same reason why now I don't do cheap gun cases anymore, because too many guns have been hurt by them. So you can't have guns bouncing together. They're not designed for that. To be kept in prime shape.
So,
and then, so it sounds like you're using LED. How's the pegboard working for you? I was considering that, but I think the opposite of you. So you went vertical and you found all my guns fit in such a small space. I got to get some pegboard and display them. I'm going vertical because I need this space. But I might go pegboard or something like that for the pistols. So how do you like the pegboard versus slot versus other display methods?
You'd think that would be an easy answer, but really it's a complicated one. So the one factor is cost. So there's slot wall that you can get or pegboard. The thing with slot wall is you have one slot every probably 3 or 4 inches. So it doesn't give a lot of flexibility for heights of, the front of the gun versus the rear. If you have to adjust it by 4 inches, it doesn't line up very well. So pegboard, I think, is the way to go. There's a couple different kinds you can get, which I have both. So this is the steel sort of one. That's what was on the pistol wall. But you'll notice that the holes are larger.
Mhm.
And so not all pegs are created equally, I've learned. So a smaller peg, when you put it in, it's loosey-goosey. So every time you take your gun out, the peg just falls to the ground, which drives me crazy. On the wood pegboard, they're a little bit more, they're tighter diameter, so it fits a little bit better. Still not perfect with a small peg, but it's a little bit better. So from that perspective, the wood is a win. Where it's not a win is for pressure. So if you have a peg like this with a bottom hook, and then like, I don't know if you can see that bottom hook there. So as you put it in the wall, the force pushes down like this, and that'll actually cause the pegboard to bulge out. And if you do that with too many guns, then it'll break and rip, and so that's no good. So you have to put runners in every so often to support the weight. But you can hide it, so it's not a big deal. And then also with regard to hooks, I learned that steel hooks scratch guns. So then you can't buy rubber hooks, or maybe you can, but I couldn't find any. So then I had to plastic or rubber dip each of the hooks so that they're gun friendly.
Oh, rubber dipping's a good idea. I've seen a couple guys like use heat shrink or something like that to put on top, but rubber dipping is way easier. I like that.
Way more fun too. Rubber dip. I when I had that can, I rubber dipped so much stuff. Just like so much.
I don't want to know
Vice
what
grips, rubber dip. Pliers, rubber dip. Knife, rubber dip.
Everything rubber dip.
Everything rubber dip. And then if it drips off and it makes a little drippy thing, then you get the Dremel out and you can sand it down. So it's like another win.
Nice.
So the other type of hook is like this, which you can see is much more robust. I don't know if you can see the difference in the two against my shirt there, maybe.
No,
But anyway, there's one that's hard to do. One's very small and one's quite large. The large ones fit better in the steel. Still not perfect, but better. And then they fit much better in the wood. So that's what I have. I have confidence in those pegs. But I had to order them from, I forget where, not local. So between the two, I would go pegboard, and I don't know exactly. It depends on what look you're going for, I suppose. I've seen some gun rooms on Pinterest or wherever online, and they're the nice mahogany, glass case door, high class, high end looking ones that are look like a study, and they're quite nice. But there's a price factor there too.
Yeah, just a little bit of one.
No, that's money that could go into the guns.
Yeah, Princess Auto can make you get that tactical look pretty quick.
Yeah.
So
do you have
they don't cost very much.
So do you also have your workbench and everything in there too?
Yes.
Is that another purpose that you used?
Shoulders leaning on it right here. It's because of the width in my room, I had to make one that folded down so that if I need the space for other things, I can just fold the workbench down to the ground.
Nice.
And it's sort of rudimentary. It's pine, because the house is a pine house. There was extra pine left over, and so I just sort of sanded down some round pine, and that's the legs, and they fold up, and that was an engineering nightmare, but I managed to make it go. And since I did it, it took me hours and hours and hours. I haven't folded it down not one time. So not once.
But it could still do
it's
it.
always
So
filled with stuff. The vise is there, and all the tools and that. So anyway, so
I haven't set up a vise yet,
nice
but that's a good one.
Yeah.
A vise would be nice. Do you have speaking of you mentioned Dremel there, and I was just thinking about it. Do you have a gunsmithing area in there?
So I'm not the handiest of sorts, and I think I've emailed you a couple of times for advice way back when on my WK, and there was things broken that were very simple fixes, and I couldn't figure out, like, just get a different pin. So I don't do a lot of the smithing. I don't even like cleaning. Actually, I have a gun range on my property just for small caliber stuff, 22 17 HMR, 22 mag, up to 9 mil. sort of generally is what I like, carbines and stuff. So when I purchase a gun, I have a spreadsheet. I totally dork out on this, and I whatever, I'll go shooting for the day, and then I'll pick up my shells as I'm shooting. I'll write down which pistol, or not pistol, but which gun, like which PC carbine or whatever, how many shots went through it, and what caliber and what the cost was. And I've got a spreadsheet of different ammo prices over time. And the goal there is I want to see the point of failure for each of the firearms. So like how many shots can a gray and birch take before it jams, or how many shots can you put through a PC carbine before you have a malfunction? Just out of interest more than anything. And so believe it or not, the most reliable so far gun that I've never cleaned since I got it, and I've had it for a while now, is my Henry Golden Boy 22 lever action.
I believe that.
Yeah, over 3,000 rounds through it, and I haven't put a snake down the barrel or anything yet, just because I'm waiting to. I'd love to clean it and just bring it back to perfect health, but it's still buttery smooth, and it's so. Yeah. So no, I don't have a gunsmithing really area, because I don't even like cleaning. Never mind gunsmithing.
I think I'm going to put a little Dremel space in here, and I've got a reloading bench next to me, so reloading area for making ammo and that kind of a thing.
Outlets, lots of outlets.
Yeah. I've got actually, because I needed to be able to set up a computer desk in here as well for streaming for Slamfire. So yeah, needed to set that up. These IKEA racks are actually pretty good for ammo. I got a picture that I posted up on Instagram of this thing holding a couple 100 pounds of ammo, and takes it like a champ. And you can set the height of the racks perfectly so that you can fit the ammo cans in there. Oh, it's so good. It's so much ammo, and it didn't even take up like half the rack.
Ammo is tricky to store. I've got, I don't know if you can see it if I go like this, that case right at the back right there, where there's all the buckets of bullets on top, the 22 bucket of bullets. That's a 3-tiered sort of storage space that locks for ammo storage, but you can't put high volume in there, and I like to have backup. So I put my bulk 223 and a bulk 9mm and different things in cans, and then I actually zip tie them closed so I can't get into them myself. So in my mind now that they're not available, so they're not ammo that I have unless I need it. So they're all zip tied closed, but it's hard to find a spot to stack all those, because they're big and they're heavy and they're awkward. So I might have to look into that IKEA shop.
You haven't built a designated area for it then?
Not for that. No, right now it's underneath my folding workbench. Part of the reason it doesn't fold.
Monitor stack.
Okay.
Instead of using the yellow pages, you use 223. Monitors and monitors 223.
Yeah.
Another thing I struggle with finding a spot to store is spent casings, because the system that I have of picking up all my shells and bringing them home and counting them and sorting them, blah blah blah. I've got Culligan jugs of spent casings, aluminum and brass. And I don't reload, and plus it's 22 and 9mm small stuff mostly. So I need to find a solution for that. What to do with it?
I've got Princess Auto has a deal right now on a wall rack of bins, big blue bins, little red bins, and I picked one of those up because for reloading, to have one of those right over top my reloading station,
that's a good idea.
Dies, bullets, all that kind of stuff, all on a rack right above where I reload is going to be nice.
Yeah.
So, Adriel, you're going to be doing reload. I don't know, Josh. Have you done anything with air exchange or filters or anything like that for the rooms itself?
No, because they don't reload. I should get into it, but I only have X amount of numbers or hours per week to dedicate to shooting, and so I don't want to use half it for or any of it for reloading. Really, I'll just buy ammo for now. But it gets excessively expensive, so I should start to reload. And in which case, it would be important, even just your hands having the lead towels, like a dispenser somewhere mounted. That's a good idea. It's something I don't have.
I'm just going to tumble. I'm going to tumble in the garage or somewhere else. That's gonna be where I keep all the lead and dust and whatever.
Okay.
Tumble outside, bring clean cases in. Don't bring dirty cases in. Because then when you're reloading, there's a little bit of, I guess if you got an exposed base bullet, there's a tiny little piece of lead there that could come off, but it's not going to come off in the air or anything like that. And I feel like if as long as I'm tumbling it outside, I should be able to keep all the lead somewhere else.
Mm.
Yeah, I don't know what the ratio is of when it becomes harmful or that sort of thing. But I know even at my range, I have a shooting shack, and it's the smell of gunpowder, and you know what I mean. There's lead there too, and so you have to need an exhaust vent for sure.
Yeah,
and probably don't have a good enough one, but I guess time will tell.
No,
it wouldn't be a bad idea for like if you're dremeling some stuff, and like you get a weird smoke coming out, or you're cooking some wood, just like dremeling it or grinding something. It wouldn't be a bad idea to have a quick little exhaust fan for that kind of stuff. Maybe I'll do like a little hood fan.
Well, when you're but it's something to consider. Like, I've asked it because some people will do their reloading and they'll do their cleaning and they'll everything, and they'll have a designated area for it. But if you're going to do a hood fan or an exhaust to the outside, are you considering that when you're starting to think about security? I
got a 6-inch pipe here that I don't need, so I'm gonna pull that out.
Okay.
So it's a air intake for furnace and a hot water tank, and they're both direct pipe now, so don't need them.
Okay. Just don't blow it back into the kid's bedroom. That's all.
Well, that's right there. So I could tie in right here and have I just need a little fan to attach to it. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a filter too that you can get that filters out lead. I don't know if a carbon filter would, or if a micro filter or whatever, but
just straight out into the neighbor's house. Their house is right there. It's just right into there. Whatever nasty carcinogenic gas is coming out.
I don't know if you can buy life insurance on your neighbors or not.
What are you doing? One question. You've got it on here. I'm thinking about it because I have a box full of magazines over here. I got racks. The magazines, they take up too much space on the rack. I need like a bucket or something like that. What are you doing for your mags?
So the big mags, like the 2, 2, 3, and those types of things, I just have a magnetic board basically that I stick them to. But the smaller mags, the PC carbine and whatnot, I don't know if you can see that there, right there.
I got too many plastic mags. Though.
I just made those things, so it's just.
Yeah, you sent you took a picture of it and you sent it to us.
Yeah, I may have. Yeah, and so it just drops in, and then it holds however many's there. But the problem is that I would want to see if you can get one that's expandable, because I've got 3 rows, but I've got 5 rows worth of magazines, so it's the math doesn't work. So I need more space still. So it looks good and it's presentable, and it's really fast to grab. So especially if you keep them, I keep my mags loaded, which I know you're not supposed to do because the springs, blah blah blah. But I shoot so much.
Fine. It's cycling. It's cycling on the springs. Yeah. As long as they're all compressed or uncompressed, it doesn't matter. As long as there's no cycling, is what'll kill them.
I try to uncompress them all every week, so then recompress them again. So I'm good there, and they're quick to grab and just lock and load if you needed to, or just packing up.
Take it to the range.
If you're late, running out the house.
Take it to the range. Yeah. Like with my competition pistol, all the mags just stay loaded unless I'm dry firing, because then when it's time to go to a 3-gun match, I just chuck them all on a ammo can and take it. There's no I see guys where, all morning you've been working on setting up bays and that kind of thing, and then they go load mags, and it's like, why? You should be looking at that stage. You should be trying to memorize it, get your head in the game instead of load 9mm or 223 or whatever you got to do, right?
So, Adriel, what about you just said Princess Adriel has those red and blue bins that, you're putting up for, what about using those for magazines?
Ooh, maybe.
Yeah. I've also seen people, don't laugh, but I've also seen people use, those shoe organizers that hang on the back of the door.
I've got a spare one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I've seen people use those for the specific, and you just label it, whatever it is, whether it's your Glock mags, your CZ, or whatever.
Oh.
And just look, he's excited about it.
Yeah.
Well, I got all this like headroom where like hanging a shoe rack would be like the easiest thing in the world and would solve this problem. And I think the space wise would be just about perfect.
Yeah, I would almost.
What size is your room? What is it square? Your room? Adriel?
Yeah, my room's 10 by 10 square,
Nice.
which
Are you
I
going to
think
do
is
any
enough.
floor mounted or floor standing racks? Have you seen those? Savoie, I think is the name of the company that makes them. And they're like
I'm going to do like
floor rack.
a row of rifles right over there, but I'm just using, for now at least, I'm just using like a 2x4 with 2-inch cuts in it all the way, and I'm just going to mount that against the wall there, so I can just leave like a crap ton of rifles there and have all the headspace.
Yeah, you said that tip on a recent episode, and I made one too for my shooting shack, so it works good. That 2-inch
Nice.
cutout thing.
So
Yeah.
The floor standing racks, I don't know if you've seen those, but they have a sort of a tripod that kicks out. You put the long guns on one side, and then on the back side, there's spots for a bunch of pistols. So if you had the floor space, that's a good way of doing it. But
Yeah, I've got to shoot videos, like review views and that kind of thing, so I need the floor space to be able to move around, like set up cameras in different spots. So I think I might leave it empty and then just like push as much stuff as I can to the edges and keep the middle open, and then put some more sound deadening stuff in here. Oh, it doesn't sound too bad right now.
no, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
So Adriel, before we went live, Adriel was talking about his gun room, and I thought he had really bad taste in paint.
Yeah.
I do, and shirts too.
And I said, but I painted it green so I could do all, it's like a green screen. And I went, oh my God, you're right. But really, I did think it was an awful color, but it's...
Someone else on Instagram thought the same thing. They're like, you painted your gun room a bright green? Like, what the hell's wrong with you? Oh, it's a green screen. Come on. The whole thing. I didn't know where I was going to put like racks or anything. Like, fuck it. I'll just paint the whole thing green.
Paint it all.
Yeah.
And that makes sense. So he's incorporated another aspect of it to make it a multi-purpose room.
The green's not half bad.
No, it's horrible. It's ugly.
It brings out your eyes.
Yeah. So what else? What is one thing that you did that you wish you didn't do there, Josh?
Good question.
Or vice versa. What's one thing that you didn't do that you wish you did?
so if I was to redo it again and it didn't start by a sort of an accident, I would have made the dimensions different. I would have made it, although it's interesting because it's so long, it really, like if someone comes in, there's a lot to take in, because you can't just stand at the door and sort of, look around and see it all. You have to sort of take the tour from one end to the other to take it all in. But I think that I would widen it. I would make it more square, probably, 40 long, which it is now, by 15 wide, 40. Something like that. 40
by 40, yeah.
Yeah, basically
40 by 40.
1,600 square feet is about right.
Yeah, it's a gun room. It's a little gun room, honey.
Give or take. It's not counting the square feet of your house anyway. You might as well use it for a gun room.
Oh, yeah. Waste space.
I would make it larger, but it's always that way, right? You never have enough room for just keep accumulating, and it grows. Yeah. So, but I would make it larger, and then also, I still may change the pegboard. I don't know. So there's a couple. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention this. There's a couple of really nice gunroom systems that you can buy if money's not a factor. Gallo Technologies is one that I bought a couple bits and pieces from, but there's a couple that they do that, like you can hang good, like your bulletproof vest if you had one that just can take the weight of anything. And so I bought a couple of pistol display shelves like this, so they kind of hang on the wall like so, and then it displays your pistols. Problem is that I didn't realize it at the time, but they're made to click onto to their system. So it's designed to just click on like so.
It's proprietary.
So they do have holes in them right here, but you can't get a drill to it with the angle that it's at. So you're trying to put it against the wall. Even if you have a 90-degree bit, you just can't get in there to do it. So it was a struggle to hang those, but they work well, and there's nothing else like them out there. So that looks
like it would be pretty easy to make.
Yeah, but it's robust, and it's finished well. It's powder coated. It wasn't expensive, but it was a bugger to hang it.
Well, I might just do a shelf. Like that, 45-degree with a little lip on it, so that you can like pop your handgun and just kind of have it sitting there like that. That looks easy to do. I might just do that.
I found that the easiest way for sort of grab and go is the magnets that you hang from the ceiling, and then your gun just sort of snaps up into it. And then it just hangs there. Then you can just grab and go as you see fit. Another thing I've done is, and it might not be the best solution, but a peg in the barrel like so. If you have the right hook, then it can hold it well. I've seen a couple other solutions too, but the magnet, and I've tried a few of them. I have a stacking rack that I don't use anymore. I have a couple other things like that, but the best one I've found for pistols for sure is the magnets and the shelf if you want to display them.
I like that shelf. That shelf is repeatable. I can build one of those. Plywood. I got lots of scrap plywood. I'm just gonna make like a quick little shelf out of that because, and I'll keep my eye out for a more permanent solution.
Something on the front of it. Well, I guess if you're making it out of wood, it wouldn't be a big issue. These ones, because they're metal, you don't want to metal on metal contact. So I put it just a shelf or a kitchen drawer pad sort of on it, same color.
That's a good idea.
Protection.
Yeah. So your gun room's 40 feet long, correct?
40 feet, yeah.
Yeah. So did you also another purpose? Did you put up any targets or anything so that you can practice your crossbow?
Don't answer that.
That information is classified.
Your archery?
No.
No.
Answer.
No.
Just stick with no. Yeah.
Okay. No. All right.
Nice bleeding, but no.
I would have actually, maybe. I don't know. Anyways. All right. I'm going to be quiet now.
I think I want to get a vise in here because there's a couple things on an AR or something like that where you need a vise to take the barrel on or off or do that kind of a thing. Same thing. WK, the same thing, right? So I would like a vise. Although other than that, I'm not sure how much I would use it because I'd probably want like one of those gun cleaning stands. Well, I've got one that it just like to use for
the Tipton ones.
I've got one of those that's like a one-piece unit that would probably sit over here or something like that. That would just be fine. But
they have this attachment that goes on them too for the 180 or any sort of AR platform kind of.
Yeah, I've got one of those too.
Sits on.
I don't find I use it a lot, but it is a really great way of like holding it hands free and being able to work on it.
I don't think I've ever used this, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Well, like, I don't know if you're doing like trigger work and like trying to get the trigger in or something like that, but I just don't find it like a hassle to just hold the receiver and do that.
There have been times where I've wanted one of those mag mounts to either put in the vise or put on the Tipton gun vise, but I've made do without it. But there have been times where I wish I kind of did have it, but.
Yeah, you can't make do without the vise when you're taking a barrel off or putting a barrel on or doing something that's high torque. That's when you need the vise. But for as many times as I need it, maybe I'll set up my vise in my shop or my garage or something like that.
Well, they even make the piece that holds the upper, so you don't have it on the lower. It clamps your upper in place for torquing on your barrel, and
that's what I've got. But you still need to put a vise on it and bolt it to something like steady to get the, because you're pulling like 80 foot-pounds on the stupid thing, so it's got to be secure. And any wiggle side to side, that's when you start damaging parts, when you don't quite have the leverage and the control over it that you need, and you're making do with some hinky way of doing it, maybe like torquing a barrel nut while holding the receiver on the floor, and you've got the scope on it because you need more torque and the lower, and like you're probably bending stuff, but
Never done that. No.
Yeah, no, I'm not speaking from experience on this either, right? I always use the
worst
device.
Is with the worst is with the buffer tube nut that has no actual flat surfaces on it. You know, you need that gripper thing, and then trying to get the torque on it.
Yeah, hitting it with a brass punch or something like that. Give it the corner around. I've got a castle nut wrench though, so I haven't done that. But there's lots of stuff. Geez, I just recently got one of those blocks that like has the cutouts for barrels and stuff, so you can like pound stuff through it. And oh my god,
that
so
is
nice,
a lifesaver. That
oh
so
yeah.
nice.
I was going to suggest if you put one of those like kind of on a lazy Susan sort of system, so that you can spin it easily on your workbench. That might be.
Select a surface.
Nice.
Roll it around. Oh, do I need my reloading press or my bench block or my vice?
Clever.
All just on like a $10 like lazy Susan. Yeah, no, I mean
a little air compressor would be handy actually. A little air compressor to have in the room if you had the space for. If you didn't have a Dremel, if you had,
blowing stuff off and that kind of a thing.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Yeah. My floor always seems to be dirty from, I guess, just outdoor dirt because I come straight in. So if you were going to spend a lot of time in here and didn't want to go outside at all, then if you had central vac, it would make sense to put a little outlet in, but I don't know if anybody has central vac anymore or not.
My central vac is right there. I could totally pipe in a central vac in here.
Nice.
There you go.
That'd be handy, especially when you're dremeling. Just have that right there, and
oh yeah, and like all the used primers and all the powder, all the like spilled powder.
Yeah, you don't want that in a freaking central vac.
Gone. I don't have to worry about it now. It's out of my room.
Go to change the bag. It's like, what the?
Central vac. I didn't even think about it.
Get a shop vac.
I've got a central. It's literally right there. It's on the other side of this wall. I can run a little bit of PVC.
Hook it up, just like you're gonna do with the fan, right, and then
this room
bring
already.
it to the kids' room.
You could do the
thing. It's right here.
Crystal's saying you could run it on like the floor vent, just like a wood shop or whatever. You have a flap when you don't need it, and then open it up and just sweep stuff into it.
Oh, the sweeps are nice. I got carpet in here.
Clever.
But that's a good idea. My pipe's right there. I could just tee off that thing.
Okay, fine.
I'm good to go.
Well, I guess that just touches on something.
Inside the owner's manual. Page inside the owner's manual for the central vac that says do not vacuum up flammables or explosives. Just rip that page out before the insurance company sees it.
Yeah. Didn't see that page. It's okay.
Yeah. But Adriel, you brought up something with the carpet floor. Ideal flooring for gun rooms, depending like if it's just storage or if you're working in there. I mean, I've done it on carpet before, like dremeling and that, and it sucks because trying to vacuum that up and clean that, it can be fun.
Or when you trim brass and you get those little shavings everywhere, and if they get into the carpet, they don't come out. They just poke the crap out of your feet every time you walk over them.
Or that detent pin.
Yeah.
I think the only way to install a detent pin in an AR is one of those like clean rooms, like you think about like an old insane asylum, like with the padding on the outside, it's like fully lit. That's where you got to do the detent pin thing, and if it flies off, you'll find it right away, right?
Yeah.
Well, it's funny that last week on stream I was going through the WK and I popped one of the E clips, and I still didn't find it. Yeah. It just went flying. Like, oh, I got another one. Okay.
That's a horrible feeling when you hear that pop, and then it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. Oh,
followed by the sound of metal as it goes down the grate. Your furnace grate. Like,
no.
At least you don't have to look for it anymore, right?
Yeah.
But seriously, what type of flooring do you think is probably the best for a gun room?
Hard soft. So like something that's I would say something that's not tile, because if you drop.
Yeah, you're going to break something.
I did drop a scope off my workbench, and luckily the company that sells it has a lifetime warranty, so I sent it back and they sent me a new one. That was no problem. But if you drop something else and it can smash and break, then that's not a good thing. So if you had like a plank or laminate flooring that had some cushion, or
underfloor heating with cushion and vinyl planking with cork underneath. But who's going to spend the money on that?
Yeah,
I was thinking vinyl plank, even just on the cement if you're doing it in the basement, just for that comfort, and it looks good. And it's got a little bit of give if you do drop something on it.
Easy to clean up.
It's too cold. I'm going to go with like utility carpet just to give me a little bit of warmth, because it's so cold on your feet.
So build a subfloor, insulate it, and then do underlay.
You're talking about more work here, Kyle. I don't want to put a subfloor and laminate. Oh my God. No way. It's going to get crappy utility carpet. And if I drop a bunch of oil on it or something like that, I'm not going to feel bad at all.
I got it for you, Adriel. We used to install, I'm pretty sure you can still get it. The older in-floor heating was just a wire that you ran along the floor, and then you put a grout down, let that go flat, and then you could put your vinyl plank over that. Then you got your in-floor heating in your gun room and all ready to go. Or just wear fuzzy slippers.
Yeah, Chris got the right idea here.
It's the cheapest solution, so you're fine.
Also, if your gun room's in the basement, Adriel, is it?
Yes.
You said yeah. So flooding is something to consider too. So if you have,
I got insurance.
You have, yeah. There you go.
Yep.
That subfloor idea is looking better and better.
Subfloor that's another thing that'll get wrecked with the flooding.
Yeah, but it'll keep your guns drier up off the ground.
Oh, that's a good topic. Moisture control. What's your plan there?
I'm in Alberta. That's my plan. It's dry here. It's so dry here.
You're good.
That
You're
it
good,
is, yeah.
I was checking my humidity upstairs earlier, and it was like 18%. I don't have to worry about rusting.
It's Alberta.
Well, in the center of the universe, Ontario, we have a little bit of moisture. What do you do, Josh?
Yeah. I don't know. I haven't. I piped ductwork in so that there's a cold air exchange, and the warm air blows in also. So there's circulation. I haven't had any moisture issues though. Surprisingly, most basements, but maybe it's because it's a new house. I'm not sure, but basically, I have those Yeti things from inside the gun case that you have to. Those steel. I don't know if you've seen, not Yeti, the Nanook moisture absorber steel cases filled with beads. They turn colors when they're full, and then you have to bake them, and they become better again.
So how often do you find you have to bake those?
I did the first time, and now they're sitting there useless. So instead, what I do is anytime we buy anything new and it has a silica package in it, I just grab that and throw it in my safe. I have a safe inside the safe room. And I just throw them all in there. And so far, it's been fine.
Well, you got the air circulation. What about investing in a dehumidifier? I'm pretty sure you can get ones that. Yeah,
I have one. Yeah, but it affects. I've had it on before, and it sort of affects the moisture in the whole home. And so I want to run the rest of the house at a little bit higher level than the gun room.
Because you have a timber frame house.
Yeah.
So a log home, so you actually have to be aware of that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it dries out and cracks big time if we have the fireplace, the wood stove upstairs lit. In the first 2 years, which we're only in year 3 now, so there's some big booms. It's like pressure cracks when you're on the ice if you're ice fishing. I don't know if you've experienced that, but it's like it's a big boom. Yeah, that's what's like.
Yeah, scares the crap out of you.
So don't want it to be too dry. Yeah, it does. So you don't want it to be too dry, and so so far it's been fine the way it is, and just leave it, see what happens.
Awesome.
I have seen there's the electronic devices too that they go inside your safe room. I don't know what they're all about or what their story is or how they perform, but I've seen them available lately.
Oh, Adriel, you're muted.
The dehumidifiers, you're saying?
Yeah, they're like firearm specific. I think, I don't know, Bullseye North or somewhere that has a good Instagram page that's frequent. I think it has them on once in a while. Tenda maybe or somewhere, but it's like a tube almost that is electrified and goes inside your safe or your room, and it absorbs moisture. And then it can Bluetooth to your phone also to tell you what the moisture level is. Forget what the name of them is.
I just got like, they've got these really inexpensive temperature and humidity sensors on eBay. I just have a couple of these that I've just got around the house to see if the temperature difference is anything to write home about, or the humidity is weird or something like that. Right now it's 24%. It's fine.
So yeah, so you can quickly monitor it that way. That's good.
Well, mostly it's like to adjust temperature and that kind of thing as well around the house. But yeah, there's lots of options. I guess like because it's a room, it doesn't really matter. You can just go as big or as small on the humidity control as you want to, right? Dry core, subfloor, over concrete. Tough yet feet warm.
Feet warm.
It's an important thing. Cool.
Yeah.
Are we... Anything else to mention about gun rooms?
I think that pretty well covers everything that I had on them.
That was great. Lots of great.
I would like to have this room. A 10 by 10 square is too small for it, but I would really like to set up more targets around so I can do dry fire. Mm-hmm. That's something that this room isn't great at. That I'm probably gonna have to use my downstairs living room for because I just need like a target 10 feet away is just not far enough away to draw down on and.
No, you need some distance. That's for sure.
Yeah, maybe if I printed real small ones, it would work.
Well, you put a dot on there or something.
Yeah, I guess I could do that. Yeah.
I know one guy, a high level shooter, and he dry fires in his bedroom in a trailer. And he's top level shooter. He just picked smaller targets or something.
Interesting. Yeah, maybe I can.
If it's good enough for him, it's good enough for the rest of us.
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
Thanks again to Josh for coming on to telling us all about your gun room. It looks awesome, and definitely put a lot of effort into that. It's great stuff.
We'll get into ongoing project.
Ongoing,
see how it is.
Yeah,
I'm sure you'll be messing around with it for a long while, right? Tweaking and yeah. We'll get into listener feedback. Listener feedback sponsored by Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, and Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms accessories, optics, and more at www.dcgunsmith.ca. You can also check him out on Facebook and Instagram. We have no new emails, which is a shame. I was hoping for a long one to give to Kelly this week.
Nope.
Rats.
No.
That's because I'm on.
Nope.
yeah.
Rats.
Hey, we did have kind of one, but it's not really Canadian. But and it's also there is somebody that wrote in about the shooting that happened in New York City. The
Very strange, right?
The Glock jammed. Yeah.
It's because he was using extended mags.
Probably. That's true.
Cheap extended mags, probably.
True. Yeah. So and that's the only comment we had.
I see a bunch of I've seen more than one person claiming there's some sort of false flag information. I think it's just the dumbest thing in the world. Like it's hard to do something like that, and it's hard to just have 10 victims out in the middle of nowhere. I think it's just peak stupidity.
Yeah. Agreed. Anyways.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
All right.
Okay. So if you'd like to send a long letter for Kelly to read on a future show, please do so at slamfireradio@gmail.com. We'd appreciate that, or at least I would. If you'd like to support the show, or do we have? Oh, we do have a new Patreon supporter.
Yeah, we do.
Darren O with $5. That's awesome.
My peeps.
Might know Darren. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know Darren?
Darren. Yeah, we know Darren.
Kelly knows Darren too. Yeah.
Yeah.
He's from,
Thanks, Darren.
From the Maple Seed world?
Yeah, he's one of our sheep bosses in BC.
Oh, nice.
Also a listener, obviously.
Obviously. Thank you to Darren. If you'd like to support the show, we'd appreciate it. Please do so at patreon.com/slamfireradio. And does anyone have a shout out for this evening?
I do.
Kelly?
Okay. So my first shout out goes out to Josh. Thank you for coming on tonight, showing us your gun room, and also staying on the whole entire show as well, and for being so awesome. Thanks for coming on tonight. My other shout outs are to the ladies from She Shoot podcast for having a great show this week. Everybody go on over there, have a listen, tune in on your favorite apps as well, so you can listen as an actual podcast, or you can watch the video too. So go on over there. That's it for me.
I got a shout out to Ross for sharing that Caliber Mag article. That must have just happened. So the Alberta CFO called for the federal government to cancel the OIC.
Oh, really?
Good try.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm sure they'll get right on that.
Yeah. No, they're not going to.
I don't
Did
know
they-
any
did
other
they say
CFOs,
please?
like calling for the government to walk back their legislation, but I'm glad that the Alberta one does.
Yeah. Alberta.
It's
Yeah.
trying, you know.
Yeah. So, Josh, are you moving out to Alberta too?
I was thinking Montana, actually.
Way better.
Yeah.
If things don't change in the next round of elections, I have been looking at property, in all honesty.
Okay.
There you
I
go.
know that others in this industry who shall remain nameless at the moment, but they're moving south with their business.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Firearms business,
Oh.
the whole 9 yards, heading to Florida. It's just,
Yeah.
who knows? So
Sad.
we've been looking. Montana's a very expensive place, but very nice, huge
Yeah.
ranches.
Beautiful.
All right.
So far for now, Ontario is good, and then
For now.
Alberta, and then Montana. Yeah,
Alberta's the transition, right?
Yeah.
right.
Anything for you, Kyle?
Yeah, I'd actually like to shout out everybody who joined the live stream last Thursday night after the show, going through the WK and watching match videos and getting in there chatting. Made it seem actually worthwhile to do. So thank you guys.
All right. Awesome. I don't have any shout outs this evening. Check us out on Gun Owners of Canada. Like us on Facebook. I was actually trying to look to see what the current count was, but I couldn't figure it out. I don't know why.
Facebook's hard. These
Yeah.
days they keep changing things.
Yeah, I just
Followers and likes and yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I thought it was something to do with me, but I couldn't figure it out. But anyways, like us on Facebook, give us a review on Facebook, join the CCFR. Very, very, very important. And thanks again to Josh, and see you all next week.
But
See you
everyone.
next week.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.